Thank you. Practice starts over. It's Krzysztof to throw first for the bullseye.
Well, a superb weekend here in Wigan reaches its climax in Players' Championship 4. We have our final. It is the top player from Poland versus Stokes number 1, Ian White.
25. Ian's won the bull.
Two of the top 4 seeds here. The number 2 seed Ian White, the number 4 seed Krzysztof Ratajski. I'm Dan Dawson, Chris Murphy alongside me. It is first to 8 here for £10,000 in ranking money and the title. We have two guys who are so used to winning ranking events, and they are so dangerous in these floor tournaments. Seeing them take on each other in a final, it is very much normal service resumed for these two.
It certainly is, Dan. A pair that simply wipe the floor on the floor. And the two men that played the most matches in floor tournaments in 2019, between them, they racked up 220 games in Players' Championship tournaments. White with a couple more than his opponent. And it is two of the top 4 seeds. That's why they are so high in the seedings, because they consistently reach quarterfinals, semi-finals, and indeed finals, where they find themselves now.
Yeah, Ratajski has 96. An excellent record in finals as well. Not so much for Ian White. It's been a long while since he's won one of these floor tournaments. He seems to have done some sort of deal with the devil, where he's taken his incredible title-winning prowess in the floor, and yeah, he's still going to be successful in floor tournaments.
100.
He started winning on the Euro Tour. He's had 3 Euro Tour wins, all in the time. He hasn't won a floor tournament. It's the best part of 2 years since he's won one of these.
Yeah, not for the want of trying, though. I mentioned during the quarter-final that he played against Mensa Sudovic that he threw everything at Mensa in a match in a final on the floor last year, had a 9-darter 107 average and lost it. The reason that he went for the treble 15 now is because Krzysztof Ratajski, uncharacteristically after 9 darts, is still in the 300s and not really in this leg.
Well, he's been playing some incredible stuff today, Ratajski. 4 of his games, the 6 so far, he's averaged over 103. A slow start in this one. It is on the white throw, though, so nothing to worry about just yet. Ian White with a trademark 14-dart leg. You can throw those all day and be sat at the end of this game with 107 average. That is a very real possibility.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Ratajski has been producing the bigger numbers between the pair today. 4 averages over that 103
96.
mark, including the last 3. Very, very impressive demolition of Danny Noppert in the semi-final, 7-2. In fact, the last time he won one of these tournaments, he beat Noppert 7-1 in a semi-final.
59.
It's his 10th final in the PDC. He has lost the last 2 after winning the first 7.
Yeah, well, of course, won his first titles as a non-tour card holder. He was, you know, I mean, that is, I'm not sure you'll ever see it happen again. We've seen a number of players step up from the Challenge Tour and be good.
132.
To win multiple ranking titles as a non-tour card holder, I think it's just an astonishing achievement.
Yeah, there's potential for it to happen, I suppose, because of the way the places are filled now. Of course, in the UK Open qualifiers, you'd have a few of them, so there's more potential for it to happen. But we have the likes of Scott Mitchell in the tournament today. There's every chance he could go on and win a title.
Oh, certainly. But is he going to pick up 3 in a year like Krzysztof might?
No, he's not.
58.
Well, I saw Scott Mitchell earlier on when I was downstairs in a little break between games, and he came up to me and said, "Is it like this all the time? Every game, I'm like, I miss 1 dart for a big ton plus checkout, and then somebody goes out, they're averaging 103.
28.
I wanted to comfort him, but I just had to say, yeah, it is.
Ratajski's not been missing much today, and he's eyeing up this ton plus out, opting for double 16.
80.
Doesn't find it, but shouldn't matter.
Well, double 16, when he's playing well, Krzysztof Ratajski is a monster on double 16, and he must. I've not seen him today. You've seen more of him this weekend than I have, but he must be playing well because the numbers he's throwing are superb.
Game shot.
There we go.
Yeah, case in point there. Well, in that semi-final win against Danny Noppert, he was so often firing in 2 treble visits. That's a key faction of his game. He's also
139.
managed to take out the biggest checkout of his day in that match, 136, again using that segment down at the bottom of the board, double 8 to complete that combination. His tournament average is over 100 for the afternoon. It is
100.
a quite remarkable run of results that he's produced.
And the weird thing is it more 180s than Ian White? Ian White's a big 180 hitter. Krzysztof Ratajski, not so much. He uses the treble 19 segment a lot more than other
94.
players. I mean, we've seen him win these sorts of titles and not even hit double digits of 180s in the day. You know, over 7 games, because he moves around the board so much. And yet today he's had
45.
16 180s, and Ian, who's won 6 games to get here, has only hit a dozen. Here might be one though. Nope, not quite.
98.
Before we get into the meat of this final, honourable mentions for the semi-finalists: Peter Wright, who was cruelly denied a place in the decider, and Danny Noppert, who's had a remarkable weekend, qualified for both European Tour events and reached the quarters yesterday and the semis today.
And a first ever win for Danny Noppert against the world number 1 Michael van Gerwen as well. Big weekend for him. Big check out for Ian White. Although it's not one that's going to go.
89.
Well, a maximum would apply maximum pressure. Ton 40 would do some damage. It would get him
85.
down below White's 81, but that dart is wayward. Did have a beautiful 132 check out as well in that semi-final. White has to clean this up. He's not going to, so Ratajski will have the chance for the 135.
41.
He landed a dart in the 25 in the semi-final that was perfect to put one in the bull, and then he duly hit the treble 19. It was similar to that spot there. Now then, this time it's treble 20 and bull. Oh, it looked very inviting had he found it.
99.
But White will come back looking to hit the front again.
Double top.
Game shot.
Straight in for the diamond. 16 darter. 3 legs all going on the throw, but not without a little bit of a worry at times. Ian White is just
140.
chugging along at a sort of 98 average. That's what he's been doing all day. He's had one game where it's dropped down to 92. He still won that 6-3. He started the day with a really impressive 107, but everything else has just been 96,
85.
95, 97. It's just been solid Ian White stuff. Not even his best, but good.
$180.
Piles in another max. He has certainly upped his game in that department.
I'm wondering if he's got new equipment, Krzysztof. He wasn't particularly impressive the first weekend.
100.
He certainly hadn't been getting the results until today, even though he had thrown some decent stuff. But I just don't know. Maybe he's just trying some new darts. They look a bit different, but maybe I'm just misremembering. They're not wildly different from his old set, but as we know, dart players can be susceptible to just tiny little changes, and it affects their confidence.
Well, what they may well be doing, Dan, is landing in a way that doesn't mean he has to switch as often as he was last year. He is on a potential 10-dart leg here, having racked up scores of 140, 180 and 165. Not going to be out in 10, but 11 or 12 is just as good.
Game shot.
And it is a dozen, and it is 2-2 in this race to 8 legs.
Yeah, and a 12-darter is dragging Ratajski's average up to the high 90s, where you just expect him to be every time he plays. We have seen him turn on the afterburners and really find some top-level stuff. I know
80.
he's gone over the 104 mark a couple of times today, but I think back to Gibraltar when he won his Euro Tour title at back end of last year, where he absolutely brutalised Daryl Gurney in the latter stages of that
40.
tournament. And I wasn't sure. I knew Ratajski could win titles and throw 10+ averages, but I wasn't sure he could do that sort of thing. He's proven that he can.
180.
There we go, Ian White with his first maximum of the final.
97.
I'm not sure if it was in that tournament or not, but the highest average we've seen from Ratajski is 112.
I think that was the Darrell Gurney game. I might be wrong, but it was certainly in that sort of area, around 110.
80.
Well, whatever he does here, he's not going to join white on a finish.
60.
I'm quite happy to stay there.
101.
Okay, well that's all right. 20 for tops means that Ian White only has to use one dart to get to a double.
85.
All we throw so far looks set to continue. That's out of the way. That might actually help him.
20.
Hasn't found it yet, but again, it won't matter. Neither player really taking it to their opponent against the throw so far.
139.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen anybody have a dart to break the throw. They've put themselves in positions like this,
Game
but
shot.
then they've been denied, just like that. 5 legs in, everything a hold of throw. That carries on. Then Ian White wins his first floor title for the best part of 2 years.
96. 96.
It is remarkable to see Ian White seemingly get better year after year after year in what many would think would be the twilight of his career.
125.
But we've seen him, as you said, convert that floor form into titles on the stage last year. Also, he finally broke that hoodoo of not having reached a semi-final in a PDC major tournament at the Players' Championship
81.
finals in Minehead at the back end of last year.
Well, you know what? Leading up to the World Championship, Peter Wright, having had lots of deep runs in major ranking
180.
tournaments, Ratajski, it's a perfectly timed 180 to leave himself on 100. Loads of ranking tournaments, and he was picking up titles here and there, but he'd had 2 poor World Championships, 2 early exits, and we knew that he could pick up masses on his
180.
ranking, as Ian White does get to a checkout, but it might be too little too late. And then, of course, he goes and wins the whole thing. Well, Ian White's had 2 early exits, very unfortunate ones, at the World Championship. He's played brilliantly
60.
and got done by stunning displays from his opponent. Well, just imagine where he could be in the world rankings if he has a deep run next year.
Can White do it right? Can White get this right? It is the highest checkout he's produced this afternoon, the 144. That was in his quarter-final victory over Mensur Suljevic.
Game shot.
But Ratajski, that's about as close as we've come to seeing the throw threatened.
And that's it, the person throwing first. It always seems just that one dart or one visit ahead.
It is like the head start in a running race, isn't it? As it should be.
140.
That's the quality of these players now, that having the throw matters that much.
Well, look, they're both averaging around about that ton mark. That's 15 dart legs. So you're going to probably
97.
you need a slip up from your opponent, or you need to fire in a 12 darter. And it wouldn't surprise you when you go and leave 81 after 9 darts against the throw, and they'll chip off in 12 themselves. So it is, as always, about timing. When are you going to get your good legs? When are they going to have their bad legs?
And once again, on throw, White racks up a 140 and a 180 to boss the leg from
59.
the beginning. I've had a handful of matches. Not sure about you here on Stream 1, Dan, but over on Stream 2, where I'm sure the players would have been wondering why they bothered to throw for the bull at the start of the match, because there'd be more breaks than holds.
81.
Well, we have seen these guys in finals that have gone the distance, have gone very close. Ian White, of course,
140.
picking up titles on the European Tour last year. Both of his finals went to last leg deciders, beat MVG in Holland, beat Peter Wright in Sindelfingen. Krzysztof Ratajski had that incredible game with Gerwin Price when he
60.
played in the Players' Championship event just before the World Grand Prix that went all the way to a last leg decider.
100.
But we're here again, aren't we? Where the person thrown first is that visit ahead. And will White deny Ratajski once more? Double 5 it'll have to be. No.
30.
That is the first sign of a buckle. Ratajski will get a dart to break the throat. Gets the chance.
70.
Hasn't taken it. Ian White here has a choice to make. Does he look to split, or will he just walk up and hit?
A safe one. And a dangerous one.
8.
And the sort of close of the eyes tells you he knows it's a horrible mistake. The first dart was no help to him at all.
Game shot.
And Krzysztof Ratajski does not need a second invitation. He makes Ian White pay. We said it'd be a brilliant leg or a mistake. That is unequivocally a mistake from Ian White.
Yeah, it really is. The last meeting between the pair, incidentally, was that Gibraltar Darts Trophy that you mentioned. The quarter-final was won by Ratajski over White, and then he had that impressive performance
100.
against Gurney in the semis.
Yeah, 109.5 in the end, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was a 7-3 win for Ratajski then, before going on to beat Dave Chisnell in the decider. Thrashed him 8-2 as well.
Yeah, he was unstoppable
100.
that evening in Gibraltar. The final Euro Tour event of the year. We'll be going back there. Euro Tour starts up in a couple of weeks' time in Belgium.
180.
Yeah, and we'll be coming back here next weekend, streaming live Players' Championship darts from Robin Park Tennis Centre in Wigan, and we'll be heading into the 5th event of the year, having had 4 different winners from the first 4.
None of which
180.
are the world number 1 Michael van Gerwen, who has still drawn a blank in terms of winning titles.
Gary Anderson, Nathan Aspinall, Ryan Searle, and one of this pair
45.
with the £10,000 winners' cheques in their pockets so far.
Yeah, and Peter Wright will be wondering how he hasn't picked up a title with the way he's played, particularly this weekend. He must be averaging 103 for the whole weekend.
Yeah, he can console himself when he gets home by polishing
137.
his World Championship and Masters trophies. Maybe there is a devilish deal going on and it's an either or. If you're going to win them on the big stage,
Yeah.
you're not having them on the floor.
136.
Well, Ratajski has set himself up and leaving tops. Ian White. Is this one of these 12 darters to break that we talked about? It has to be on the bull. And the
59.
diamond is just a fraction away.
The Polish Eagle has the chance to open up a little bit of daylight.
Game
And he's
shot.
done that. The 2-leg cushion past the halfway mark in this final. Krzysztof Ratajski could be closing in on PDC title number 8.
180.
A 180 start from Ian White in response, but Ratajski
180.
replies in kind.
$140. $45.
Well, Ratajski, it's okay for him. If White holds his throw, that's fine. But Ian White was in this kind of situation against Peter Wright, and he nearly let it slip. He
137.
survived match darts in the end. Krzysztof Ratajski survived match darts today. Nick Kenny, the Welshman, was the man who put him safe. It was an absolute barnstorm for a game. They're both averaging 110 for most of it.
81.
But Ratajski is such a difficult player to beat when he's on form.
Well, White has breathing space here. Double 16. Not surprised to see him go down there. Surprised to see him miss it. And surprised to
28.
see him miss again. Fortunately, we'll have more attempts. It would be an 8th title in the PDC, including the Challenge Tour for Krzysztof Ratajski. He's picked up 6 before now in senior darts in the Premier Tour.
Game shot.
But it's not done yet.
No, Ian White keen to pick up a 13th senior PDC crown.
93.
So by the end of this, between them, they'll have 20 ranking titles to their name in PDC darts. I mean, it's some haul. And both of these, look, we know what they can do. They can win Euro Tours, they can win floor tournaments. They are regularly up there in the top 10 in the averages list every year that they play. And yet, it is the big TV events in the PDC where they have not shown their played to their capabilities and shown their true value as dart players. I think both of them will be targeting that this year because there's no reason with the way that they're playing. I mean, they're both averaging 100 here, and it's not out of the ordinary to see them do that. There's no reason why they can't go and do that at the World Match Play and find it. This could be a major final some point this year.
I think many people were tipping Krzysztof Ratajski to go on a run at the World Match Play in particular last year, and it failed to materialise.
Yes,
60.
I was one of them. Made me look very silly. I was tipping him at the World Championship, and it was only an incredible display from Nathan Aspinall that stopped him.
Don't blame him, Dan. You do that to yourself
That is very true.
very frequently.
That is very true. I don't need any assistance.
45.
That is a missed opportunity for Ian White. Ratajski has only hit 1 big treble from his first 3 visits, and White has not built up a big enough buffer to
81.
really apply the pressure, but another slip.
There seemed to be a little deflection there for Ratajski with large consequences. White has slipped into the treble 1 as well, and into the single, and the consequences for him are even more enormous because he's not on a finish now after 2 poor visits.
Oh, what a visit this would be. 177.
177
to leave double 16. That is perfection from Krzysztof Ratajski. In a leg where he looked so vulnerable, he has now completely turned it around with a perfect visit.
Well, he keeps being drawn to that one segment, Ian White.
83.
The 83 leaves him in finishing range, but he's not going to get a go at the 90, and Ratajski maintains the advantage in this final. The pole in pole position. Not much to choose between the level of performance from the pair, both averaging just around that 100 mark. In terms of performance level combined, it's the highest quality final, or it's set to be the highest quality final we've had.
59.
Nathan Aspinall, the only one of the 3 winners so far, or indeed the 6 finalists before this, to average over 100 at the end of the day. And that takes some doing. They've been throwing darts for hours at this point of the day. 6 hours.
140.
Not 6 hours, not including the couple of hours practice they might have done, or if you're Mervyn King, 4.5 hours practice.
Yeah, Mervyn has thrown for as long as either of this pair
60.
today, but unfortunately went out in the first round. And there he is, just arriving, ready for next week's tournament. Anyway, back to the
99.
final, where Ian White has a lot of work to do.
$96.
Ratajski is just a relentless operator, isn't he? He's that kind of poker-faced player. Doesn't give much away in terms of opportunities or emotion.
140.
Well, they're both kind of, you know, they've got similar demeanours, haven't they? We have seen Krzysztof at times get dragged into shouting matches. He doesn't mind mixing it. He's done it with Garen Price, done it with Adi Lewis.
Yeah, but he never looks bothered, does he? And
No,
on
he doesn't
the
let
few
it-
times we've seen Ian White show some emotion, he has been flustered a little bit.
But Ratajski, nothing can put him off, it would seem. 88. But they do have, both of them have like a computer, a machine-like
48.
quality. 146. This could be a title-winning shot. Does he stay in the 20s? No, moves to the 18s and leaves his favourite. Oh, nearly.
Well, the margin of the miss was minute. As to be fair to Ian White, were his 2 darts at that target in the previous visit, and he returns unfazed, unflustered, as we've just been talking about, and pins the double with the first dart in hand just to close the gap to 1 again. All it takes
140.
is 1 off leg from Ratajski or 1 brilliant leg from Ian White to turn this around, but he's running out of time.
This is not dissimilar to the semi-final between White and Wright. In that one,
100.
Ian White had got ahead, and Peter Wright found a way late on to turn it around in his favour, but 3 mismatched darts, and Ian White, a bullseye finish, managed to put him in this position in the final.
100.
Now, he's got to try and channel that, produce what Peter Wright did to turn it around, but not fluff his lines at the end. Easier said than done.
Well, he has to at least get with him here, and he's going to do that. Just in case he does have a couple of dodgy visits, at least be there to pick up the pieces. Staying there effectively.
100.
There you see the Dan's landing almost perfectly flat in the board. That means you can put them above or below. Not every player is able to do that. $100.
Well, both staring at a 161 check out. And it's not going to go for Ratajski. It might need an inspired moment to turn this final in the Diamonds' favour.
Not going to happen. Just shy of that bottom wire. Ratajski will come back with 3 in hand to take a 7-5 lead and needing Ian White to win all the remaining legs to turn it around. That's awkward. It's a double blocker, isn't it? Can he find a way in there?
12.
He couldn't. This could be the chance.
It could be the chance. But Ian White would have preferred to have been closer. Needs the treble. Doesn't get it, and because he wasn't closer, he doesn't get the dart to break. Ratajski double 6 to go within a leg of the title. Double 3. That might not be too bad for him. Oh, and you could see it deflected off and in. A vital double 3 for Krzysztof Ratajski, the Polish Eagle. That's the biggest celebration we've seen from him.
Well, a closely contested final, but Ratajski got that crucial break in the middle of the match and has held on to it ever since. White will throw everything at him now, but has to take everything from here.
82.
Ian White. Oh. Well, I was immediately thinking back to that final with Mensur Suljovic, where he averaged best part of 110 through a 9-darter and still lost it last year.
Well, regardless of the outcome of this match, he'll be disappointed not to be walking to the board with 1-4-1 in front of him, because that first dart looked very, very inviting indeed.
Well, as long as he gets the leg and asks the question of Krzysztof Ratajski, because it is only 1 break of throw.
60.
Hold, break, hold.
Yeah, and we can't complain about lack of 9-darters so far, really, this year, can we?
Not had one today, have we?
True. Get your act together, boys.
Yeah. There's still time. There's still time, Murph.
There's always time. Time is infinite.
No need to go 11 ball.
89.
So we'll set it up. 3 clear darts at double 16. With the way that these guys have been playing, you fancy their chances of either of them being able to see that off. But Ratajski has just given him a little nudge on the shoulder, isn't he?
Yeah, rattling the old cage. He's Whitey wise to it. And White
60.
wobbles, and Ratajski could get the job done right now.
Treble 20. Nope, not to be. And Ian White Wasn't even looking at the board.
97.
Can't miss this time, Ian.
Game
Doesn't
shot.
miss this time. Very assured, very authoritative, very calm. Can Ratajski keep his cool and hold throw and take the title? Because if he doesn't, White becomes
83.
favourite. What a last start that is.
That's what he does, isn't it? When he gets himself into a bit of a mess in a visit or in a leg, he gets himself out of it.
125.
White doing his level best to take advantage. He has to keep outscoring his opponent in this leg, and he's managed it in the earliest exchanges. Is there a last start treble here? There is again from Krzysztof Ratajski. Whatever the score is, it always feels better, Dan, doesn't it, if the last start
121.
goes in the highest scoring segment.
Yeah, it feels like you've rescued the visit. Oh, what a time for another max. It's 5 180s. Not the biggest 180 hitter, Krzysztof Ratajski, but he's been good today. And sorry, 6 180s for Ratajski in this final, and he has needed every single one of them.
100.
Well, you talk about rescuing the visit, as White has just done with that last start. That 180 might have rescued the leg and with it the match. Because had White, or if he still does go on to win this leg, it's his darts
98.
in the decider.
This would be unreal. And it needs to happen for the diamond. Double 19. Iron ring, spectacular stuff. Ian White with a 155 checkout. Ratajski sat on tops for the title, and all of a sudden he has turned it in his favour. He has the darts, and after that magnificent checkout, can White drag himself over the line?
Well, that was a quite astonishing finish. You spoke about that bullseye checkout in the semi-final in the
100.
decider, Dan, but that supersedes that by some distance. Ratajski waiting just to walk forward, land double top, shake hands, and have a chat with you. Instead, he's forced into another leg in
101.
which his opponent throws first.
That is astonishing. Double 19. You don't have any other choice. You have to go that route for it. Leaves you double 19. Nobody particularly likes it. No choice. Ian White had to hit it. He did. You might struggle to see a better shot than
93.
that on the Pro Tour this year.
The wonder of White here in Wigan. Is it going to be the shot that turns the tables and puts the title in his hands?
134.
This leg is still fairly evenly poised.
What are you doing, Ian?
140.
So a ton 40 to leave 168. He's not thinking clearly. You've just taken out a 155, Ian. Give yourself chances at big outshots. You know they can turn games.
Well, maybe he thinks he's that
96.
good that he can take this out somehow. 96 does leave a finish. We're not going to see it, are we? A 155 skin saver and then a 170 to win the tournament.
$60.
It's only 60. 180 is gettable. 170 is gettable, but it's unlikely. It is unlikely. But it might happen.
Oh, that's how close it was. Almost superseding that enormous finish that kept Ian White's hopes alive and forced this decider. Well, that's 21 points scored, 87 remaining. He's done the right thing here, just stepping back, composing himself. Ratajski looks on with interest. This has to be perfect. Treble, then double. Can't find the treble.
92.
And after the Herculean effort of that 155 checkout, it might still be Ratajski who takes the title. And he does take the title. Ratajski reigns in Wigan and picks up a 7th ranking title in the PDC. A wonderful win, a wonderful final. It was almost snatched away with that ginormous 155 checkout from Ian White. But in the end, almost a big fish finish from Ratajski, mopped up the remaining 25, and he takes home the £10,000. What a weekend it's been. Ryan Searle yesterday with his first title. Ratajski has now won his first of the year. Who knows how many more he could win? Some big ones perhaps as well. Let's hear what he thinks of it as Krzysztof Ratajski talks to Dan.
Congratulations, we'll talk into this one. Come and stand here. Stand here, we'll talk into this. That final was incredible. 155 checkout from Ian.
Yeah.
Did you think that was going to win it for him?
It was incorrect moment for me. I wait with 40 for the match, and he finished 155. It was terrible for me, and start last leg. It was really hard.
You've played some brilliant stuff today. 4 of your games you've been averaging in excess of 103.
Yeah.
Do you feel like something's clicked today? Because you were the first 3 tournaments this year, you weren't getting the results, you weren't finding ways to win.
It was this tournament was sometimes was happy, was lucky for me. I won 6-5 first match, third match, and I play very good with average 100 and plus. But it was very close. Sometimes I survive a few darts for a match for my own.
Nick Kenny, wasn't it?
Nick Kenny, Mickey Mansell has also 3 darts on the match. Yeah, I play really good, but they have these matches. I change in this season. I change darts. I have a little heavier. And I hope it's the reason I play so many matches with average more than 100. I feel very comfortable with this.
So do you believe that even though you won a number of titles last year, you won 3 titles the year before that, that this year could be even better? It could be your best year so far?
Yeah, I hope it will be my best season. Last season was brilliant. 2 seasons before was also good, but one more brilliant. And I hope this one will be diamonds.
Well, Krzysztof Ratajski, he is our 4th winner on the Pro Tour this year. We've seen 4 different winners. Ryan Searle yesterday, a first-time winner. We saw Gary Anderson picking up a title. Michael van Gerwen still yet to win, but he is in the hunt. And Peter Wright playing absolutely spectacular stuff. We've got the Premier League on Thursday. It comes from Cardiff. Peter Wright, the world champion, against Rob Cross in the opening game of the night. And we're back here in Wigan for 2 more Players' Championship events. That's before the Euro Tour starts in Hasselt in Belgium in a couple of weeks' time. The Polish Eagle, Krzysztof Ratajski, picks up the title today in 10,000 ranking pounds. And we have got 9 darters flying in all over the place, 110 averages everywhere. We'll see you in a few days' time for more. Congrats.